Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of plant zoo speculation. This time we're focusing on a couple of zoo exhibit settings. So the Nocturnal House and the Reptile House, two iconic and well-known exhibits featured in zoos around the world to display reptiles in a good setting and nocturnal animals in their own world. So let's begin. And so we're starting with the Nocturnal House Animal Pack, a pack that includes several nocturnal animals from around the world, Asia, Africa, South America, and we are starting off with the flagship of the pack. Eyes are one of the world's strangest primates. They are in fact a lemur, believe it or not. Their coarse stringy hairs, large bushy tail, large ears, and orange eyes give them a distinct look among Madagascar's species. Their long middle finger is used to detect and reel in insect larvae, where they will tap along the bark of a tree until they hear the chirps of the larvae, and then gnaw at the bark to reach the hole with their rodent-like teeth, and then reach in for their meal. It is said by the Malagasy people that if an eye points at you with its finger, you are apparently marked for impending death, and the only way to be rid of the curse is to kill the animal. Sadly, this makes protection for the species difficult given their ghoulish mythology. The North Island brown kiwi is one of the smallest ratites, which means they are in the same family as emus, cassowaries, ostriches, and rheas, as well as extinct examples such as the moas, which also exist in New Zealand, and the elephant bird of Madagascar. They use their long beak to hunt for invertebrates in the leaf litter and the soil of the forest floor. They are an iconic species of New Zealand and would make a perfect addition to a nocturnal house. Tamanduas are a smaller kind of anteater with two species, the northern from Central America and the southern which is found across much of South America. Their prehensile tails act as a fifth limb to help them climb trees. They have long sharp claws and a long tongue which is up to 40 centimeters or 15.7 inches in length. Yeah, they are just a cool species that would make a fine addition to the game, as we need a few more South American species that live in trees, and tamanduas are certainly one of my personal wish list species for the continent. Pigeons are a tree-dwelling omnivorous relative of the raccoon and coati. They are the only other mammal classified as a carnivore apart from the brinturong that has a prehensile tail. Despite their preference for nectar, honey, and fruit, but will eat insects on occasion, they primarily venture out in darker hours to avoid potential predation by harpy eagles. And yeah, they are just an interesting species that would make a fine addition to the game. They're also pretty cute, so that's a nice bonus. Cape porcupines are found across southern Africa and around the African Great Lakes. They are the largest species of porcupine in the world and also the largest rodent in Africa. Their long quills allow a great defense against Africa's powerful predators like lions, leopards, and hyenas, which have been known to be killed by a porcupine's quills. When threatened, the hollow spines on their tail can make a rattling sound to intimidate attackers. Ocean's palm civets are an endangered mammal from the rainforests of Vietnam, Laos, and far south China. They feed primarily on invertebrates like earthworms, but will also eat frogs, fish, and fruit. Just another bizarre species of the night that would make a fine addition to a nocturnal house. And yeah, more civets would be a good thing to get because they are a nice and bizarre group of animals. Lorises are a unique kind of primate from Southeast Asia, with the pygmy slow loris being found in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. They carry their young on their backs like many mammals, but they have a secret weapon to defend themselves. Glands underneath their armpits, which secrete a noxious oil, and when mixed with their saliva creates a potent venom which fills into small grooves in their teeth. This venom is able to rot flesh and their bite can pierce bone. A cute but deadly little primate of the night. Naked mole rats are bright pink and almost hairless with sparse hairs across the body. They live much like many insects that live in colonies, such as ants and termites, with a queen that gives birth to all the offspring, and the subordinate males do the jobs and act like the workers of an ant colony. Their small eyes are not very good at seeing, but they have a great sense of smell and hearing to live underground. The large rodent teeth are used to help with digging, as well as bite through tough roots and tubers. Vampire bats are an animal with one of the worst reputations. They do drink blood of animals, using their sharp fangs to bite a hole into the animal, but they release an anticoagulant to let the blood flow and not clot. Like most bats, they roost in caves and in tree hollows during the day. They each consume 20 grams of blood a day to survive, and if a bat has not managed to find enough blood, others in the colony will actually share their meal with the other bat. They take care of each other, which is something to contradict this bad reputation that they get. And they're also pretty cute when they're not showing their fangs to you. So, yeah. Last of the nocturnal pack, we have the Eurasian eagle owl. Eurasian eagle owls, like most owls, have large eyes to see in low light. Silent flight, which is enabled by their feathers with a comb-like edge and ends with a fringe. This funnels air over the wing, dampening the sound. Their asymmetrical ear positions allow them to pinpoint sound with precision. Their feathery tufts above the facial discs allow for an increased sound reflecting surface. They're also very common in captivity, being one of the most widespread in zoos. It would make a great addition to several Asian zoos and European zoos, given they have such a wide distribution. Moving on to the Reptile House Animal Pack. So these both would come with sort of an update to better the exhibits. So with the Nocturnal Pack, you would get some more customizable exhibit types with different biomes to suit each animal, and it's kind of similar to what we currently have, but unlike the current exhibit animals, except for the walkthroughs, they would be able to move around and possibly even be transferred between habitats, which would be a great new addition. With the Reptile House, similar sort of exhibits would be great, and being able to transfer some species between habitats and exhibits would also work for some of these. Another thing that could be added is open air exhibits, so like pits in the ground sort of thing, but that would be great for tortoises and some iguanas. Yeah, so let's get straight into it. So Cuban crocodiles are one of the most threatened crocodilians, having much of its habitat lost to human encroachment and extensive hunting of the species. They are one of the most unique crocodilians with longer legs than other crocodiles, enabling them to gallop a lot more comfortably than others. They also have a very fiery nature, but yeah, it's that critically endangered status and their ability to gallop that really tried to persuade me here. But yeah, they're one of my personal favorites and would make a fine addition to the game because they have a very nice pattern too. They would have sort of a similar pattern to the Asian water monitor, just on a crocodile's body. Pignose or fly river turtle is a distinct species with their namesake pig-like nose, but resemble a swimming style associated with sea turtles. They are found in freshwater rivers of Australia and Papua New Guinea. So in Australia, they are found in the Northern Territory around the Mary River, and their leathery smooth shell is it's a very nice shell. I've seen these guys in real life, and they're just one of the cutest little things. But they're also omnivores, feeding on flowers, fruits, invertebrates, and fig leaves. Basically, this makes them one of the best turtles to pick, as they resemble sea turtles, and we're unlikely to get sea turtles in Planet Zoo, but if we were to get a Planet Aquarium, that's probably where we'd get them. But Pignose turtle is widespread in captivity and would make a fine substitute in the sea turtle's stead. Tokay geckos get their name by the sound they make, and are distinct among geckos with their blue skin with orange polka dots. Geckos are well known for being able to climb on any surface, but how do they do it? Well, they have small hair-like follicles called spatula, which create van der Waals force through contact between the spatulas and a surface. The sharp edges of the spatulas, which, when bent on a specific angle, bend and create more contact. The more contact created allows to support the weight of the gecko, which is pretty cool to be honest. And geckos are one of those remaining lizard groups that has not yet been covered in Plant Zoo, and I think the tokay would be a perfect addition to cover them. King cobras, despite their name, are not true cobras. They are a different kind of elapid, the family which contains cobras, mambas, and many of Australia's venomous snakes. They are the largest and longest of the venomous snakes, with males reaching as long as a giraffe is tall. They feed almost entirely on other snakes, and they are almost immune to their own venom, which is a great defense in battles between males. And out of all the venomous snakes to be added to Plant Zoo yet, king cobras are certainly at the top of the list, as they currently have scenery in the game, but no cobra to actually complement it. So king cobra is a definite for this pack. Alligator snapping turtles are one of the largest freshwater turtles in the world, with a head too big to tuck back into its shell. Their large jaws are powerful enough to potentially bite through a human arm, possibly able to break it in half. They have a fleshy appendage which they use to lure fish, birds, and smaller reptiles, and with a lightning-fast snap, the animal is the turtle's next meal. They're just an awesome animal that I've been able to see in real life, and one of the biggest missed opportunities from the North American Animal Pack, in my personal opinion. But yeah, if they would have come in this pack, that would be fantastic. Radiated tortoises are a critically endangered species from the dry forests of southern Madagascar. With beautiful radiating patterns on their shells, they are a tempting catch for poachers and the illegal pet trade. This is their major threat as well as for human consumption, which has led to their highly endangered status. A beautiful species, but not one you should have at your home. They are best free in the wild. And this would be a great animal to represent the diversity of environments in Madagascar. This is not just rainforest. There are dry, spiny forests. And radiated tortoises are certainly one of the most iconic animals from that region, other than the safakas, which are a group of lemurs. Tuataras are an ancient type of reptile that belong to the rhynchocephalian group, which contained the tuatara's now extinct relatives that lived during the age of the dinosaurs. These reptiles also have a photoreceptive pineal gland, or a third eye, much like that of some fish, amphibians, and lizards. These reptiles are now only found in the islands of New Zealand, and as a unique member of the reptile group, they would certainly make a fine addition to the game. And they have been successfully bred in captivity, so they are perfectly capable to make their entrance into the game. Refrigerated pythons are the longest snakes in the world, with a maximum length of around 9 meters. They are found across Southeast Asia from mainland Asia into Indonesia and the Philippines. They get their name from the network-like pattern on their skin. It was also a reticulated python that portrayed Nagini, Voldemort's serpent, in the Harry Potter films. Thorny devils are the only species in their genus of Moloch, having a unique appearance from all other lizards. They exhibit a skin covered with thorn-like spines with a false head on the top of the neck behind its actual head. They feed almost exclusively on desert black ants, a specific diet which is hard to replicate in captivity. They also have a unique way of consuming water through capillary action, and water that meets the skin of the lizard is moved up through grooves between the scales, all the way up to the mouth, or down to the mouth depending where the water is, where the lizard then begins to drink it. Just an iconic species of the North American. No, they're not from North America, from the Australian outback. I mean, I have not been lucky enough to see one just yet, but I'll get myself out into the Australian outback someday, and I'll see these little lizards for myself. But given their unique status, they would also make a fine addition to the game. By far one of Australia's most famous lizards, if not the most famous. The frilled lizard is an Australian agama known for their iconic frill, which expands when the lizard gapes its mouth in intimidation against larger animals like predators and people. They are great climbers, allowing them to escape ground predators into the trees, and like many predatory animals, any insects that are escaping a bushfire, the lizard will actually approach the bushfire and catch any insects trying to flee. A unique strategy, but an efficient one nonetheless. And yeah, just a beautiful species. They are the species I wish was in the Australia pack, but sadly not. But if we were to get them in this pack, that would be absolutely amazing. Panther chameleons are perhaps the most colorful species of chameleon found in the northern rainforests of Madagascar. Like all chameleons, they are able to move their eyes independently. One could look forward as the other looks back. Chameleon feet have toes on both sides of the foot. They work to give the chameleon better grip on thin branches. Their skin can also change based on the surrounding environment, their mood, and also the temperature. They have a fast-striking tongue to catch insects, which has a sticky pad at the end which allows it to stick to its prey. We need a chameleon, and Panther Chameleon is by far the best option. And yeah, they're my favorite, and would certainly make a fant. We need a chameleon, and a Reptile House pack is the perfect way to introduce one. Chinese alligators are the smallest and more endangered of the two species of alligator. They are only found in the Anhui province of China, with potential populations in the Jiangsu and Zhejiang provinces. Like many crocodilians, they will inhabit burrows at the side of water bodies to hide in colder months, and also as summer retreats. There are a few Chinese alligators estimated in the wild, but in captivity there is a thriving population of over 20,000 alligators, which is a stark contrast, which is rare for an endangered species. There are usually a few in the wild and a few in captivity, but in this case, you've got opposite ends of the spectrum here, which is pretty cool for this species. But Chinese alligators are well known for being exhibited in reptile houses and would make a nice addition for a smaller crocodilian. The northern Cayman lizard is a semi-aquatic lizard related to tegus, another species of South American lizard, and they are the American equivalent of the monitor lizards. Not tegus. Cayman lizards get their name from their crocodilian-like features, such as the osteoderms and scutes along their backs, which resemble that of a crocodilian or cayman, and their tail is very crocodilian-like, which serves to help the lizard swim. They are excellent climbers, and much like iguanas and basilisks, they will rest on branches overhanging bodies of water, and if a threat is spotted, they simply drop into the water and escape. A very good escape strategy for a lizard, as I don't think harpy eagles can swim very well. Plume basilisks are a bright green lizard from Central America, well known for their dinosaur or dragon-like appearance, with rays of skin on their back and tail and two crests on their head, giving them the other name, the double-crested basilisk. Their lightweight and splayed toes on their hind limbs allow them to stay afloat on water and run across it when a threat is spotted to escape to a more sheltered area. They are often called the Jesus Christ lizard because of this attribute. And quite the attribute it is, running on water. Well, we need that animation in Planet Zoo, that would be awesome. Yeah, they're one of the coolest looking lizards and would certainly make a fine addition to the game. Parentis are the largest lizards in Australia, one of the largest members of the monitor lizard family, and the fifth largest in the world. Fifth largest lizard, that is, behind the Nile monitor, Asian water monitor, and crocodile monitor, and of course the largest in the world, Komodo dragon. They are a desert specialist hunting other lizards such as thorny devils, bearded dragons, and blue tongues, where the Parenti gets most of its moisture. A fantastic species of the Australian outback and would certainly make a great addition to the game. We need more monitor lizards. The Asian water monitor was a great surprise for the tropical pack, and Parenti would make a fine addition to either desert pack or the Reptile House animal pack. Inland taipans, or fear snakes, are the most toxic of the venomous snakes, with a venom so powerful it could get at least 100 people. Yeah, that's a high number. Despite this, no human fatalities have actually been caused by this species. This is likely because the species lives far from human settlement, whereas other snakes that are found in urban landscapes, such as cobras and vipers in India, cause more bites due to the amount of people the species are exposed to. Another species of the Australian outback that would make a fine addition to the game, and with its world record, that would certainly get a lot of attention. Eyelash vipers are a distinct species of the pit viper group from South America that come in a variety of different coloration, which enables them to hide in a variety of different areas of the rainforest. Green hides in the vegetation very well, red and brown helps to blend into tree branches, and yellow ones could utilize yellow flowers and bananas. They get their name from the scales above their eyes that resemble eyelashes, despite the fact that snakes do not even have eyelids. Green anacondas are the heaviest snake in the world and are best adapted for an aquatic lifestyle, inhabiting rivers and wetlands across South America, ambushing a variety of different prey such as capybara and cayman in water and monkeys in branches above the water. The biggest green anaconda ever found was a 227 kilogram and 8.4 meter long individual. And yeah, this would be a great species to show semi-aquatic behaviors for a snake. And if they were to get snake movement down, as the snakes currently do just sit there, that would be a great tool to use to see the green anaconda at its best. The dragons are known for their bearded scales that are raised into a larger display when threatened. They are great climbers and one of Australia's most famous lizards. They feed on a variety of insects as well as herbs and some other vegetables in captivity. Yeah, they have a wide diet, and I have actually been lucky enough to hold bearded dragons a few times, and they are spiky. Last one I held actually cut me a little bit with its spines. But other than the frilled lizard, thorny devil, and blue tongue, and the Parenti as well, the bearded dragon would complete the top 5 most famous lizards in Australia. I was about to say snakes for a second. No, they are very different. Flying dragons, or just Draco lizards, are famous due to their ability to glide from one tree to another, through the use of membranes supported by their ribs that fold out to form wings, allowing them to glide. These lizards can glide for 8 meters, but have been known to reach 50 meters. They have a gular flap under their head, which folds out to form a flag used to display to others, or for intimidation against rivals. This would make a great species for the walkthrough exhibits, as it would be one of the most unique reptiles to have in the game, as they do fly around. And yeah, that would be a cool animal to wrap this pack up with. And yeah, and wrap it up. That brings us to the end of the video. So yeah, if you have any ideas as to alternatives for this pack, or for other DLCs based around what zoos possess in real life for the game, do share them in the comment section down below. Yeah, what did you think? Nocturnal House, Reptile House, which one would you prefer, or would you like both of them? I personally would love both of them, because they would give us a great increase to areas of our zoos which are currently quite lacking. But yeah, if you want to see more of Planet Zoo, I do have more planned, and I will see you in the next one. 'Cause I gotta get on with that stuff. Bye bye.